Amazing, right? Can we give them some more love, please? Because it's really what this entire ceremony is about. It's really what unity is about, right? Giving thanks for life, giving thanks for being here, and understanding that we are fully supported, that the hummingbirds, that everything is there to support us, and that we are never alone. We are never alone in that we are the living presence of a living love, and we are surrounded by the living presence that is the living love. And so what we're being invited to do today is to actually name and claim that for ourselves for this year. So last week we burned everything or close to everything or some of everything that we wanted to get. Did anybody else have like my moment? Like, oh, I got to burn that too. Did anybody else have that? You can, you can just burn it. You can write it down on a slip of paper and just burn it, right? It's an ongoing process, right? The process of release. So we get to engage in that continually. But what we're going to focus on today is the power to name and to claim. So we are very, very clear in unity about the power of the word, the power of the spoken word, the power of how language creates an actual demonstration in time and in space of an idea. And this is what we believe is about how creation happens. We believe that there is a divine idea that actually becomes manifest in time and in space. It becomes something we can touch and see and taste and feel. And that's what we do with language. We're taking an idea and we are creating a word that means something, that resonates through our beingness and literally is sound waves in the world. And those sound waves impact us. We felt the sound waves of these beautiful women, and they impact us. Well, the same thing is true for our spoken word. And it is something that is central to unity. It is why our prayer practice, I believe, is one of the most transformative prayer practices that exist, spiritual practice that exists. Because we are being invited to name something. And that requires an internal process happening within ourselves. And when we name something, we then can claim it. Can you feel how you can't actually claim it or live it until we have some sense of the edges of whatever that is? So I was watching Slumberland, and I'm sorry, little bit of a spoiler alert. Little bit, right? Anybody in here seen Slumberland yet? Oh, you all have to watch it. Okay, it's on Netflix. It was really lovely. The trailer makes it look like it's not going to be the movie that it actually is. So it's really a lovely story. It's based on a youth book series, and there's a point in the story where the protagonist lives in a lighthouse with her father, and he asks her, she says, "I can take care of the lighthouse," and he says, "Well, what's the point of the lighthouse?" And she says, "To keep the ship safe." And he says, "When you know the real purpose of the lighthouse, then I'll let you run the lighthouse." And she has her journey. And that's why there's a little bit of a spoiler in here, but not too much of a big one. Because what she finally realizes is that the lighthouse is not there to keep the ship safe. It is to guide them on their journey. The lighthouse is there to guide you on your journey. And for unity today, the white stone is going to be your lighthouse. It is going to be your due north. It is going to be the thing that anchors you, that you can keep returning to. How many people in here have seen It's a Wonderful Life? Okay. So think of it also like Zuzu's petals, right? The touchstone that reminds you, again, because it's all too easy in the course of life to lose track of the thing that is actually calling and speaking to us. So the white stone becomes a way, and I love this. The Father says, the lighthouses are not there to keep the ship safe. Otherwise, we would never leave the harbor. How in your life are you playing safe? How in your life are you not actually supporting your stepping out into the greater world? And so the invitation for the White Stone meditation that I'm going to guide us through is to listen for what is that word, that phrase, that is the beacon for you this year, that is the lighthouse, that isn't there to keep you in the harbor, but is there to guide you on your journey. And so once we listen to that, then we're going to step into the claiming, which is where we get to write the divine letters. And the divine letters are written as if the year is over. So you imagine yourself at December 31st of 2023, and you are writing a letter to yourself now, telling yourself from your divine understanding everything that you accomplished and did and stepped into and engaged in throughout the entire year. It's funny because last year I read my letter just a couple weeks ago, and it was all about stepping into leadership in a new way. And it's funny because when I was writing the letter, I was thinking it was about the book that I was writing. That's what I thought it was in reference to, because, the human ego has to try to make sense of everything, right? And then there is what actually is happening. So my divine self was aware of something that my little self couldn't even begin to imagine yet. So that's the space I'm inviting you to step into as you write these letters. That it's the knower that knows, the part of you that is whole, that is entwined, as they so beautifully sang, with everything that there is. And what was the year in some way, right? Because that's the claiming part. As you're writing it, as if it all happened, you are claiming the power of that in your life. And then those letters get collected here, and they will be prayed on by the prayer chaplains for the next 12 months. So that whatever intentions, whatever you have set in those letters, they're being held in the prayer field for the entire year. So just a few logistics with the letters. You're writing the letter to yourself from your higher self. Is everyone clear on that? Okay. You are going to, when you finish the letter, you will eventually put it in an envelope, and you're going to address it to you. Your full name, not just your first name. We have letters that we don't know what to do with because it just says Sally on the front. And there's no last name and there's no address, so we can't mail them back to you. So on that envelope, we need your full name and your address, okay? And then those will be collected when the offering comes around. And next year, right around Thanksgiving, we'll stamp them and we will mail them back to you. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So we're going to do a two-part process, White Stone first, and then we're going to move into the divine letter writing. I wanted to just give you these two things to think about. This is Eric Butterworth, very classic unity. God can only work for you to the degree that God can work through you. And we would say now, as you, right? God can only work for you to the degree that God works as you. Like, how are you opening into the divinity that you are? And then I love this quote from Maya Angelou from her inauguration speech poem on the Pulse of Morning. Lift your eyes upon this day breaking for you. Give birth again to the dream. This is our opportunity to dream. This is our opportunity to listen to the deepest callings and murmurings of our heart. This is the opportunity for us to listen from that still, quiet place and allow something that transcends what our ego thinks should be happening in the world for us. We're listening deeply to something greater. Yes? All right. So we're going to step into our White Stone ceremony. We are going to be supported by these lovely, lovely beings. So we're going to swap places. I'm going to let them move forward so that they can be heard. They're going to be doing soundscape and just lovely support, okay? And I'm going to invite everybody right now to just take a breath. Does everybody have a white stone? If you don't have a white stone, raise your hand. Does everybody have a letter, envelope, paper to write with? Now, the word that you hear could be the power that you picked last week during Burning Bowl, but it doesn't have to be. It could be anything. And it also, sometimes I hear more than one word. Is that okay? Yes. Absolutely, right? So it's whatever is arising for you that's going to support you. So does anybody need a Sharpie? Does anybody need a pen to write with? Ooh, I love it. Everybody's got their stuff. Good job, Dory. Thank you. So let's take a breath together. And you guys can start us off with something, and then I'll guide them in. So allow yourself to quiet. Stilling the mind even more. As we welcome the sacred space that is both within and without, that which is all there is. So we consciously allow ourselves to release into that centered space of potential, of possibility, of love. We listen to that still small voice. What is ours this year? What is the word or the phrase that is the lighthouse in our consciousness? divine idea of who you are in 2023 to shape itself into an idea, a concept, a word, a divine awareness of what is yours to do and be. What are you activating within yourself this year? And as you listen, just whenever in your own time and space, as that word arises, just write it down on your white stone, a firmament, a foundation for this coming year. I am. What are you this year? I am. Stepping into that space of, as you are this, your white stone word, how is that going to express through this coming year? What are you going to be? What are you going to accomplish? What is yours to do that is no one else's to do? Listening to your divine wisdom, just allow yourself to write your divine letter. So a few more minutes. If you have finished your letter, you can put it in the envelope and address it to yourself. First and last name, address. Perhaps while you were writing the letter, you caught another word that you might want to add to your white stone. And if for some reason nothing seems to be arising, just breathe into the space. It will all be made clear. You'll be vacuuming at home, and you'll catch what your white stone is. You're just staying open and receptive. So like one more minute. If you're watching at home, you had an extra envelope that was addressed to Unity and Marin. So you'll want to put this envelope with your name and address on it into the envelope addressed to Unity and Marin, and you will need to send that back to us, and we'll hold on to your letter for the year. So everyone take a breath with me right now. Just breathe in. I want you to take your white stone. I want you to just hold it in your hand. And I want you to think about what that word is that you heard, that you caught. Perhaps it's one of the powers that we've been working with, perhaps not. And I want you to just very clearly, right now, in your own consciousness, first quietly to yourself, just say, yes. I am, and whatever your power is, just say that to yourself. Yes, I am balance. One more time. Yes, I am. One more time, even louder this time. Yes, I am balance. Now what I want you to do is turn to the people next to you and introduce yourself as your power. Say, hi. I am balance. Hi, everybody. I'm balance for 2023. So turn and introduce yourself to each other as your power. Okay, now turn to somebody else. Turn to somebody you don't know and introduce yourself to them and say, I am. Hello, I am. All right, take a breath together. I knew this was a risk. I was like, once I turn them loose, am I ever going to get them back again? So when the offering comes around, when the basket comes around, you'll be able to put your letters in then, okay? And right now we're going to have a final song by Copper Women.